Welcome to the TxPROS tutorial, using the trip to get to load and trip to get back to yard options in TxPROS. This video was produced by the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles, Motor Carrier Division for users of the Texas Permitting and Routing Optimization System, also known as TxPROS. On the Enter a Route screen, there are multiple trip options available. In some cases, the empty equipment used to haul a load may be over legal dimensions. When this occurs, you can use the trip to get to load and/or trip to get back to yard options. These selections allow the movement of empty, over-dimensional equipment without requiring a separate permit. However, the entire trip, including the movement to the load, the haul, and the return, must be completed within the effective dates of the permit. On the Enter a Route screen, the Enter Trip box includes the origin and destination for the loaded portion of the route, which we have already completed. To begin permitting the movement of empty, oversized equipment, check the Trip to Get to Load box. This will expand the section, allowing you to enter the origin, destination, and any via points. For this example, we have selected the intersection option and entered SL 338 for Street 1 and Wireline for Street 2. Then, we chose Balloon 1, and the location is now populated in the origin field. Next, enter the dimensions of the empty equipment, 12 feet wide, 13 feet 6 inches high, 80 feet long, and 80,000 pounds gross vehicle weight. If you are operating with load-zoned axle weights while empty, you may also select the Can Use Load Zone Roads option. Now, enter the destination. In this example, we will use the intersection of FM 1450 and US 285. You may now enter the details for your loaded route, including the origin, destination, and any via points. In this example, we will enter FM 1450 and US 285 as the origin, and US 285 and Puckett as the destination. Once the loaded route is entered, check the Trip to Get Back to Yard box to enter the return trip details for the empty equipment. For the empty return trip, we will select US 285 and Puckett as the origin. Enter the dimensions of the empty equipment in the appropriate fields. In this example, the dimensions are the same as those used for the empty to load trip. If your equipment is operating with load-zoned axle weights while empty, make sure the Can Use Load Zone Roads option is checked. For the destination, we will enter the intersection of SL 338 and Wireline. Keep in mind, both empty travel options, Trip to Get to Load and Trip to Get Back to Yard, are not required. You can select one or the other based on your needs. Once all information is entered, click Validate and run to continue. Once validated, the highlighted route will appear on the map, showing the empty travel to the load, the loaded trip, and the return to yard. Scroll down below the map to view the turn-by-turn driving directions. You will see that each of the 3 trips is listed as a separate route. This vehicle is now permitted to complete both the empty and loaded movements under a single permit. If you are satisfied with the route, click Next to proceed to the Fee Details page. There is no additional charge for including the empty movement options. Finally, choose Payment to complete your application. This concludes the tutorial on using the Trip to Get to Load and Trip to Get Back to Yard options in TxPROS. For additional information and more tutorial videos, visit the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles website at www.txdmv.gov and enter the keyword TxPROS.